All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. What's happening, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? My name is Pete, but you should already know that. And you're watching Paid to Drive. But more specifically, this is the fourth installment right here of The Driver's Den. And I am hosting, obviously, this week. And we have our amazing co-hosts here. We got Mr. UDM. Say what's up, UDM, as always.
What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm over here dealing with kids. My bad.
And of course, the one, the only, the man previously known as Prince, Team LMDU, formerly known.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? So let's get this underway here. There's really no easy way to go about this, but last night, one of my viewers, Iris Freeburger, she posted a few comments on my video about the decorations in my apartment for some reason. But you know what? She's trying to get my attention, and I appreciate her doing this. So it appears that GrubHub in certain regions, in certain markets throughout the United States are starting to pause drivers. And I've never heard of this before. And I'm just going to read an email that was posted publicly in this Facebook group. And I just want to give you guys an idea about what's going on here. It says, "Hi there. We paused your account because the manner in which you utilize our platform indicates to us that you are unwilling or unavailable to partner with GrubHub. Because we want to continue connecting customers to their favorite restaurants, we have paused your account. Please respond to driverinfo@grubhub.com to let us know you're still ready to go, and we'll immediately reactivate your account." Supposedly, over 20 drivers in, I believe, the Baltimore, Maryland market have received this exact email and are currently, like, I guess, locked out of their accounts. I touched on this last night on my vlog channel briefly to talk about this. I've contacted my driver specialist about it, and he seems to think that it's an isolated thing within each region, and that it's not necessarily something to worry about necessarily. But I wanted to mention this today and kind of, you know, pick everyone's brain here to see what everyone thinks about this whole thing. Now, I've kind of given the introduction here. I mean, Tony, UDM, you know, if you want to kind of jump in here and see what you guys think this means and maybe why it's happening.
You want to go first, Tony?
Oh, sure, yeah. When I first heard about this, I thought it might have been at first. My first gut thing was like, well, are they trying to force us to take orders that don't make sense? But then what I'm thinking is, or what I've figured out is, it's kind of one of those things where they may be like punishing people, kind of like a write-up at work kind of thing.
That's what it seems like to me, at least.
And I agree with you, Tony. I feel like, you know, majority of the time, especially last night, I went to go pick up an order, and the restaurant did not prepare the order until I got there. They said I needed to wait about 5 more minutes. And the main reason was because they said that they were preparing orders beforehand, and the food was just staying there because I guess no one was coming to pick it up. And the only thing that I could think of was that order was being rejected because that order I picked up was about $4 and some change. And it was like, I want to say about a 15-minute drive to that location. So, you know, I would guess they're probably trying to crack down on drivers that don't seem like they want to work, in the sense. So yeah, it's almost like a write-up.
Yeah, you don't want to work, you can go home kind of thing, you know?
Right. Now my whole thing is this because of the cherry pickers? Because that's what it sounds like. If there's $4 orders sitting there with no tips on them, you know, drivers are rejecting them. Like you said, the food's getting cold, customers are getting upset. And when you go back to the email, that's what it really does sound like that, because it says that, you know, we want to connect drivers. What do you call it? We want to, because we want to continue connecting customers to their favorite restaurants, we have paused your account. So it really does sound like that. Now, like I said, I did contact my driver specialist. and he doesn't really have any information on it. So I guess it doesn't apply in my particular region at this moment. Maybe in that Baltimore region, this is an ongoing problem. Maybe where people, maybe where people in that market don't tip well in general. So maybe just a ton of orders are getting rejected. That's what I think might be happening. I mean, what does everyone in the audience or the viewers think? I mean, we got almost 100 people here watching right now. Do you guys agree with that? That it's because of the cherry pickers, or it's another reason? Comment 111 if you think it's because of cherry pickers. Comment 222 if you think it's another reason. I mean, feel free, guys, to jump in. You know, I don't want to take the whole thing.
I just want to say this. When I first got started with GrubHub, I made it my duty to accept every single order. I don't know if you remember that, Pete or
Yes.
Tony. I said that I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna accept every single order, and it's not because I wanted to make the most money. My ultimate goal was to try to help the company out, so to speak. I know I'm just one driver and they have many, but in my mind, I was thinking like, if I join the rejection team, then it causes the company to have more and more angry customers. Hey, Daddy's doing a live stream. So it would cause the company to have more and more angry customers, and more angry customers, that means less money that's coming in, less revenue. And if there's less revenue, then there's less to put out to drivers. So it's kind of like, it's just I felt like I was helping the company, so I was just accepting as much as I can. And then yes, I did go through a couple angry moments with the company as well, and I rejected a few. But at the end of the day, I really do feel like that's one of the reasons why we're going through what we're going through now. Well, in those specific markets, because the company is losing money. I don't know if you guys have seen or kept up with the stocks, but they are declining.
I saw that. I saw it. Yeah, I noticed that.
What is it at now? I remember when it was like $87 a share. I don't know what it is now. Let me see.
Last I checked, it was like at $70 something, but I remember seeing it at 88. Then it jumped up to like 94, and now, well, recently when I checked, it was like $70 something. I can't remember the exact number.
Right now, it's 77.76 a share right now. And
Right.
it's down. It's down almost 5%.
Oh.
Well, in this case, I just feel like, they're losing a lot of money, because not as many customers or restaurants want to partner with them, or they're losing partnerships as well. And they're trying to do whatever they need to keep a good rating with customers and restaurants. So they're going to take it out on the driver, I guess.
In a way, it's kind of like, does anybody here think it's kind of like treating us like an employee in a way?
I do. Hey, Tony, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you, man, but I want to read what Joe Drive for You wrote. I don't think this is the case, what he said, but it does bring up a very interesting theory. So Joe says, I have a theory from the way the sentence structure of that email is from how you read it. It almost sounds like the drivers are on the block and they're running the other delivery apps and GrubHub as well, which I know a lot of people do. Where I don't think that's the case, but that could contribute. Whereas, like, for instance, if you're running GrubHub and Uber Eats at the same time, okay, let's say you're waiting on a GrubHub order, is at a restaurant that's going to take 20, 25 minutes. So you turn on Uber Eats or DoorDash and you're like, let me just squeeze one in real quick. So now maybe you're getting stuck on that Uber Eats order or whatever, or that DoorDash order. And now the GrubHub order is ready and now it's sitting and waiting. I don't think that this is what this is, but that's a really interesting theory. It really is.
I totally agree. And I'll be honest, I didn't even think of that at all.
Me neither.
You just mentioned it. So I salute to you, Joe Drive for You, for even putting that in my head. That's cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, thanks for that. But if that's the case too, then I did recall reading, or actually just skimming through a lawsuit that I guess GrubHub had with the driver, and they part of that hey, excuse me. I got these kids, man. They want to make noise. They want to run around. But Yeah, I remember reading a part of that whole, I don't know what it's called, but I'll just call it a paragraph where it stated that the driver was making deliveries while on a block or while working GrubHub at the same time. So I was like, dang, I didn't even know they even knew that we were accessing other apps and making deliveries through other apps while we're on their app. I didn't even know they had that option to even see that. But
how could? Well, wait, they could actually see that? That's a real
but
thing?
I don't know. It's just based. What I'm saying is, what other way would GrubHub know that this driver that they were in a lawsuit with, like battling, how else would they know that that driver made other deliveries on other apps while on their app?
Right.
Unless a restaurant called and say, hey, your driver just picked up for another platform. Did you know about this? I don't understand what other way it could be,
But with them knowing you're kind of like moonlighting in a way.
Well, you see, now Jennifer Ryan said because they're tracking us on GPS, because the dispatchers can see us, obviously, on their screen.
Yes.
I remember when I was kind of cool with a dispatcher about 6 months ago, he kind of disappeared, but he told me, yeah, he goes, we sit there and monitor the screen and manually have to reassign orders when need be, but otherwise the system kind of just does its own thing. But yeah, they can see where we're at all times, which we obviously know. But
just because, sorry to interject, but just because they can track us doesn't mean that we actually have an order unless that dispatcher gave us an order. No.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. It makes sense.
Yeah, they can see you. I know they can see you. I know, especially when you're on GrubHub for work, they can see you because I have seen proof of that. I've seen them have a screen up in the office, and there's driver here, sitting here, driver. Yeah, they could see.
Oh, so you've actually been in the office. So you both of you
Yes,
actually have.
I have delivered to GrubHub offices in my region, and when I went for my GrubHub for work meeting, they showed us an example, and it was like a flat screen. He had his laptop projected onto the screen, and you could see drivers. They could see you where you're at.
Wow, yeah, I figured so.
Tony,
And
you're an inside man.
I know.
The mole. I'm the mole.
Working for the CIA of GrubHub.
I'm on there with my spy camera. No.
Yeah, see, Frank is saying they see you going to other restaurants. Yeah, it's possible. Chuck, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you there. We're also independent contractors, so they can't tell us we can't work with other delivery apps. But that is true. That is true. And I have, I've spoken on the phone to when driver care was domestic, when it was in the country before they outsourced it. I got to know some of the driver care people just from calling them on a first name basis, and they knew me on a first name basis. I don't know if any of you guys got like that too, but I would ask them, I'm like, what is your whole take on us, using other apps? And they would always say the same thing, exactly what Chuck said. You are independent contractors. You are free to do as you wish. As long as orders are being delivered on time, they really can't say a whole lot. And I heard that multiple times. So I'm assuming that's the case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Right?
Sean, there was a comment that happened a few comments ago from Shauna. Yeah. She said she thinks it's BS that she feels that they're kind of treating us like employees in a way when they do that.
Of course. I get that feeling, from time to time as well, when they try and I guess kind of strong arm you a little bit and maybe instill a little bit of worry, a little fear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's punishments for not accepting orders, dropping blocks. I mean, it's kind of like being an employee,
See what Easy Peasy said? And it's the God's honest truth, man. He said, of course, they're going to tell you what you want to hear, but they're also running a business. That's right. Exactly. You see, they have found, all of these companies have found that loophole with the independent contractor thing. And I think a lot of them try their hardest to look through, to read between the lines and see how far they can push it before it becomes a legal issue. You know what I mean? At least that's how I'm seeing it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, and at the end of the day, like Easy Peasy said, it is a business. They're going to try to do whatever they can and see how far they can push until you crack.
And I
all
will
they
tell
need
you
is
this.
just one driver. All they really need is just one driver to like be like just crack, and it becomes worldwide news. Driver sues GrubHub. What?
And I will tell you guys this, man. From June 2017 when I started, so now it's been like, it's been like almost a year and 6 months. Very few drivers that I started with are still working today. Maybe like 2 or 3 of them, but most of the drivers are no longer there. So either they stopped, got other jobs, or got deactivated because, like I said, they're just not there. I don't know about you guys in your markets, but after a while, you start noticing the same people when you're waiting for orders. You start making small talk and stuff, right? But
I see a lot of new faces.
that there's a lot of turnover.
Yes.
I've noticed that a lot more orders in my market have become late, like when I receive it. So I think it was done now maybe on a stream that I did recently. Said I might be wrong with the name, and if I'm wrong and you're watching right now, I apologize. But one of the subscribers said that they believe I received all those late orders because we don't have as many drivers in my region anymore, and who knows the reason why. I haven't seen some of the drivers I used to see frequently, and I really don't know what to make of all of this, man.
Sorry about that. Hold on. I just wanted to acknowledge the chat here. Tony, thank you for doing that. But yeah, I mean, it's the truth. I mean,
somebody had said, I'm sorry, I apologize, I missed the name. Somebody had said that we're independent contractors, they feel till it's convenient for them, for the company.
Correct. I think so. But look, did you guys hear what happened the other day? I don't know the specifics, but I saw the Aptrepreneur, Kevin, he spoke about it, and I think Rideshare Revolution spoke about it. About how now they passed in New York City about Uber and Lyft drivers getting minimum wage, like it got approved. I don't know how the hell that's gonna work.
I didn't watch that video, but I saw that in my timeline. I haven't watched
me too. So
the most I heard is I think it's $17.22. I saw it on Rideshare Driver Dustin's page on his channel, and it's like he had a few concerns about it. So I don't know. And that was Uber. I don't know much about Lyft, but I know Uber. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, going back to the whole thing with, drivers being paused. I mean, I don't want to get too off on a tangent talking about minimum wage, but hopefully that doesn't affect GrubHub anytime soon. But it really does seem that they're honing in on people that are just not getting these orders done in a timely manner and are basically putting pressure and heat on the dispatchers, because think about it. The more complaints that GrubHub gets, the more customers they're going to lose. So therefore, they're going to put drivers, in timeout almost that aren't performing for them. I mean, UDM, I think it was you that just spoke to me last night about it, or somebody that mentioned it. I thought it was UDM, about saying how I mentioned about a week or two ago when I was doing a dinner rush, I had to reject like 5 or 6 orders in a row because they were all like $3, $4 orders. One of them was way far away, like 8 miles away. And then after I rejected like 5 or 6, they didn't send me any for like 10 minutes. And I was like, no way, it's super busy right now. And I know that Uber Eats does that because I experimented with that, I think in May or March of last year when I was trying Uber Eats just for a little while to see, how I could, maximize earnings. And I remember one guy in my market was like, just sit in the spot where it's a 2.0 boost and just keep rejecting everything that is not in that 2.0 boost. So I tried it. It sort of worked, but they put me in a timeout as well for like 5-10 minutes where they weren't sending me anything.
So you feel when you rejected those 6, you feel they put you maybe in a mini timeout?
Yes, I think it was like a mini timeout. And I think if you keep abusing that and keep doing it over and over and over in a market that is not like super busy, like I'm not talking about like Chicago, LA, Miami, Queens, Manhattan, like not the places where orders are flying in. I think like in places maybe like Baltimore, it might be busy, but not as busy. So maybe when people are rejecting order after order after order, maybe they're getting pissed and they're like, you know what? if you don't want to accept these orders, we'll find out some other people who will. Because just like UDM said, when he first signed up with GrubHub, he said, I'm going to just accept everything. And I remember when I started with GrubHub, that was my mentality. I'm like, I'm not going to reject a single order. I'm going to take every single order. And I remember I was just getting dealt all of the reject orders, all of the no-tip orders, and I was just getting upset. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, man. I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know.
Me with rejections, it's rare because I work in a market where I'm fortunate to have like orders that make sense. You know what I mean? So for me, the reject train is rare because of that fact. You know.
Right.
But I do reject some here and there, but not a lot.
I want to just kind of like piggyback off of what you were saying, Pete, about maybe they're cracking down. I believe that's what you said or something like that.
Yeah.
But recently, I want to say 2 nights ago, I did a video about odd and even order. But the point of the video was to kind of like try to figure out whether it was a computer or a human giving me these orders. And the comment that sparked this whole entire thing was basically this person that told me in the comment section of one of my videos that they rejected so many orders at one point that dispatch called them. The dispatcher called them and said to go unavailable if they don't want to work. So
Wow.
It's kind of like, because they said they received about 6 orders in 60 seconds, a whole bunch of orders in 60 seconds, and they rejected all of them because I guess all of them were trash. And after they rejected that last one, they got a call from dispatch saying, hey, if you don't want to work, go unavailable. So it was like, maybe that's what's happening here. You know, I just wanted to throw that in there.
All right. Let me just pop in for a second. how do I say this without sounding weird? There are certain other people on YouTube that make videos like us that feel that we as independent contractors should not have to ever take any of those lowball offers. I don't want to say any names. You know, I don't want to say if it's a girl or a guy or whatever, but there are a few people out there that feel that we shouldn't have to take those orders. And I understand, I get it. But one thing I'm going to mention is my rule now, after I saw what happened, after I rejected those 6 orders, if I reject more than 2 and then they send me a third lowball, I'm going to just take it. Honestly, that's going to be my rule. I'm just going to take it because I have noticed, not all the time, I would say it's about a 50-50 shot. When you accept a lowball offer, sometimes you'll get a tip, a cash tip. And sometimes they'll send you an additional order just as like a thank you for taking that order. And I've made a video about this in the past that sometimes it's actually worth taking them because you know what? It just keeps things moving. Yes, it's annoying, but the chances of you getting multiple lowball after the other are pretty slim. But again, from market to market, it changes. UDM, I don't know about yours. Tony, I don't know about your market. I'm not 100% how it is with the low balls if they keep coming one after the other, but I seldomly see that. I don't see it very often. I don't know.
I've noticed if I do reject a low ball and you put value too low, it seems as though like at least for me, I get the next one I get is a lot better.
Me too. Me too.
And even down to last night when I worked, I received 3. No, I'm sorry, not last night. The night I did 23 orders was the night before. I received maybe 4 lowball offers out of the 23. All the rest of them were, and when I say lowball, I mean like there's no tip at all.
Right? Yeah, the no tip ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So
UDM, didn't you say they disguised one with a better order, a double?
What?
A double?
Well, I did that they did that in the past. But I guess they were more experimenting with it. I did not receive any more stacked orders like that. But I realized that at one point I was receiving stacked order after stacked order. And in the stacked order, it was going to be like a lowball offer with a better offer. So when we see it at first, it's like, oh, you're going to be paid $17. But one order is freaking $13.
A lowball
like,
camouflage.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
They did that a couple of times, and I was like, you know what? I laughed about it because I was like, this is actually smart, but who knows? Who knows what they're gonna do after that? And they haven't done it since. So that was like maybe like, I want to say 2 weeks ago.
That was the old switcheroo on there. You're like, yeah, go ahead, enjoy.
I didn't mind it though because it then increased my hourly rating, not rating, but my hourly earning.
Well, UDM, you said you did 23 deliveries throughout the day. You must have cleared at least 2 bills on that. I mean, usually once you, or close to 2 bills, like maybe 180, 190, somewhere around there.
To be exact, it was 217.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
So yeah,
it's almost like you averaged like $9 an order, something like that, like $8.50, $9 an order, which is pretty. It's pretty average. I mean, I'd say for most orders, that's a solid day. Solid day.
But is the difference is in my market, it's not as, I want to say, it might be, I don't know if your market is super busy like that, Tony, but my market, it took me 13 hours to make 217. I had to work the whole freaking day, and go ahead.
My market is like that once in a great while, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just banging one after another, and you're hitting the bigger money in less hours. But yeah, there's times where I've taken like 12 hours to hit that amount, or 10.
I mean, honestly, you guys can see it. I mean, when I was doing my 12-hour live streams back in like May in the springtime, I mean, you guys were seeing it, how close I was getting to $200 on some days. I mean, I think there was only one day where I cleared like 205, but most days I was at like $185 with like 20 deliveries, 19, 20, like 21 deliveries around there, but honestly, I mean, to do that day in, day out, after a while, it just burned me out. I mean, some people have more endurance than I do, but to make that kind of money was killing me. So, but there are people that will not accept orders that are under $10. I mean, which I think is really pushing it. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I get it. Technically it's your right to do it. But if Grubhub now is going to start, like, I don't want to use the word, but punishing drivers for it, we may have to scale back a little bit. You know what I mean? Because losing Grubhub sucks to not have Grubhub as an option to make money. Because
exactly.
It's one of the highest yield-paying gig economy jobs, other than doing Uber or Lyft, for delivery at least.
Yeah, we've all driven Uber Eats, and then we've all driven Grubhub, so we can see the difference big time.
Oh yeah,
when we drive Grubhub,
The only other one I hear that's pretty good is DoorDash when it comes to payouts.
Yeah.
I hear about Caviar.
Well, Caviar is the king.
They rival. In my market, they rival Grubhub on the payments.
I've heard.
But Caviar does this thing. It's cool, like at dinner time, where like every 2 deliveries, they may give you an extra $5 or $10 or whatever. So they do these like milestone bonuses that can help you, boost your money as you go too.
Right.
I wish Caviar was. I mean, I wish they did not leave our market, but hey, it is what it is. But I really would like to try out Caviar. Isn't Caviar in your market, Pete?
In Manhattan it is, but not in the Westchester market where I am. Where I am is it's Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and I think that's it. I think that's the only 3 that we have. No, and we just got Postmates, I believe, not too long ago. They just
and with Caviar, what I like about Caviar is if you don't accept an order, it's no big deal. They don't trip. If you take yourself off the schedule, they don't trip. It's no big deal. Even if you're on the schedule, because what happens is when midnight hits of the day you work, the schedule locks and you can't change it. All you got to do is text driver support, and they're like, cool, feel better. We'll see you later. And they don't even trip off of it. That's
really? I thought I don't know anything really ironclad about Caviar, but I have heard that they're kind of like sticklers with the drivers a little bit. Like
I've never encountered that.
I've
never encountered that. Although I don't drop stuff all the time, but when I do take myself off the schedule, like the day before, there seems to be no repercussions on that.
Right. I mean, UDM, you didn't get a chance to work Caviar, right? You said they left your market.
Yeah, they left my market a while ago. Even before I started Uber Eats. That I was told by Ms. G that they were once in our market and they hightailed it out of there. I don't know why. Maybe because of first 48.
Now,
First
Hogan Reports said anyone tried Bite Squad. I mean, UDM. I remember you had a very short stint with.
Oh yeah.
With that, right? Very short time.
Yeah, I did Bite Squad. I did it for, I want to say 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe. I can't remember the amount of time, but it was a very short visit at Bite Squad because Bite Squad, to me, it operated similarly to GrubHub, but it wasn't as good for the driver, mainly because it was a job. Not because it was a job. Hey, boys, go sit down. Y'all too loud. You are too loud. You are too loud. I apologize, y'all.
No, you're good. You're good.
So what was I saying? Oh, okay. Well, it was a job, and then I would have to schedule myself. First, my market manager at the time told me, hey, we'll make your schedule according to whatever your availability is. So I said, okay, cool. Well, right now, at the time, I was thinking, like, I really want to test out this platform. And if it works well, it's going to be one of my jobs, right? So I said, all right, cool. He then schedules me some days all day. And then when I would start, I got to be down there by a certain time whenever my shift started. Boys, do not make me act up on this live stream.
Daddy UDM.
Sit down.
Everyone put hashtag Daddy UDM. Let's get it.
Daddy UDM.
Okay, thank you. So, after being scheduled for the whole day, I would then be cut off after my first hour because they were paying an hourly rate of $9 an hour. So I'm like, why would you schedule me for the whole freaking day? And then I cleared up my whole schedule for you, and then you cut me off after the first hour. Like, what the hell is that? And I burn gas to get to the location I have to be at. You're not paying me for that. You're not paying me for my gas. You're not paying me for the miles I put on my car. And like, what the hell? You know, and then you cut me off after the first hour. I had a few back and forths with my the person that was sending me my market manager. And then he told me if I rejected an order, that's pretty much me submitting my resignation letter. So I said, whoa, okay. And then I found another night where my shift ended, but then they kept sending me orders. So I'm like, why are you still sending me orders? I need to go home, you know?
Right.
But so I could not reject those orders that they kept sending me because I didn't want to submit my resignation letter, you know? So it was like one of those situations. I was like, yo, am I going to deal with this? Y'all cutting me off after 1 hour, and then y'all keeping me on shift when I need to go home to my kids?
They hold you prisoner, is what they do, huh?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's what it felt like, man.
I remember when my market was not the size that it was, and I was when I started in the very first couple of months, I needed to rely on the hourly guarantee. My market just was not busy like it used to. And to make a long story short, I remember I'd be working like 12 hours or something, and it would be like 10:55 at night. And I would be like, and I was afraid to go offline early, you know? So I would be like, God, please don't send me anything. Please don't send me anything. And then boom, they would send me like a Buffalo Wild Wings order for like no tip at the other side of the region. And I'm exhausted, and the order's not even ready. And then it's like you have to deliver to some drunk guy or whatever, you know, who's like not answering the phone. You know, like you don't get home until 11:45 at night. Like I hated that.
They're good for that. When on those nights where you just want to go home and you're at the finish line, they will send you that. Yeah, like you said, they'll send me like a Red Robin, and in my market, the Red Robins are the worst to pick up from. And
that's what I hear. I hear such bad things about Red Robin.
Hey, but you know, they're giving free fries now to the drivers. I heard, so I guess that makes it sort of better. But you know,
if you like potatoes,
I guess so. There you go.
There's so many nights where I'm in the car and then I hear that cowbell go off and I'm just like cursing up a storm in my car. I'm like, no! That's the death toll, right? The death bell right there. Like, damn.
Steel City Driver, do you have the option to accept to not accept a GrubHub trip? Of course, yeah, absolutely, of course. What do you all think about Lime Bike and Bird? That's a great question. That maybe we should definitely save for another driver's den if someone wants to do that as their topic, because that is another thing that's on the rise now, is like the bike share, the scooter share, or whatever the hell they want to
I see
them.
the Lime bikes in the city I work in. I see the
Yep,
Lime bikes all
too.
over the place out there.
We have them.
And we have a Ford. Ford has bikes out there too. I guess they're competing with them.
At one point I was very interested in trying it. But I realized a lot of stuff is going on here in my market where it's becoming a growing issue where people are stealing the bikes and they're stealing the scooters.
Yep.
And
I see that.
It's becoming very dangerous. So if I were to do it, to be honest with you, if I were to do it, I would just probably go for the low bar offers just to see what it's like. Because the more expensive ones that can't be found is the ones that, that pay out more, and people go for those and they set people up. So I don't want to have to carry my thing. You know what I'm saying? My thing.
And, it's so funny you should say about the people stealing the bikes and the scooters. In my complex, okay, somebody stole one of the Lime bikes, but it's another company called OFO. They're yellow and black. It's just another competing brand. OFO or whatever. Yeah,
I was kidding. I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but they literally like painted over or like covered over where it says the name and like ripped the tracker off of it. So now they've got the.
I've seen. We have, over here we have Google on my side of the world here, and Google I guess their employees on their campus, they have like bikes they could ride around. And I'll see someone ain't working for Google riding a Google bike around. You're like, no.
It's like, you're not working for Google, no way.
That is crazy, man. So
the Lime bikes too.
And as far as that being a topic for one of our drivers, then it could be a topic, but. As of right now, man, I don't see myself really doing it as like a main source of income. As a full-time driver, a full-time independent contractor, it's like I don't see it. I mean, they are flooding downtown though, but I don't know, man. I don't even know if it would be worth it to even talk about it because of how other people created this way. There's always going to be a gray area, a loophole for people to just jump right through, and people have figured it out to the point where some people are discouraged to even sign up for these companies anymore because people have trucks. Lime, I signed up for Lime and Bird a while ago, and they still have not sent me my charges. So it's like, I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
They're probably really backed up because everyone is signing up, So I'm sure they'll get to you eventually at some point,
What, to charge the scooters you're signed up for?
Yeah, I signed up for both Lime and Bird. I went through the whole onboarding process they have online and how to set up the Bird, go to the Nest, and how to set up the Lime scooter. And it's like, all the wheels should be turned the same way, same direction and stuff like that, man.
Do you got a car big enough to haul these things around?
They what?
Do you have a vehicle big enough to haul these things, or do you charge it on site, or I heard you take them home?
Take them home.
The Bird scooters you can fold, but I just recently found out that the Lime scooters you can't. So
yeah.
Hey, boys, stop fighting. I'm sorry. I gotta keep apologizing, man. Every minute, like, hey, stop fighting, stop doing this, stop doing that. Wait till, you know what, Pete? Wait till you get to first.
Do you want me to stop this live stream and come back there?
Yeah, right. Don't make me stop this car. Well, anyway, I mean, I think we went off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's going to happen. But I think we pretty much covered the majority of this whole thing about GrubHub drivers being paused. I guess the verdict is, for those of you guys concerned, those of you guys that are worried, don't be concerned. Don't be worried right now. Just do what you're doing. Keep working. Keep delivering. Just honestly, the number one rule when people ask my advice about GrubHub, they're like, what's the best tip you can give me? What's the best advice you could give me? Get those orders delivered as fast and as efficiently as possible, and chances are you're never going to have a problem. And just be nice to people. That's really it's that simple. You know, get it done as fast as you possibly can. That's just what it comes down to.
Put your smile on, and you said, get those orders delivered. You know,
that's it. That's really it. So again, I wouldn't worry about this. If you have any concerns, reach out to driver specialists. That's what they're there for. Just say, hey, I was doing some research online. I belong to a Facebook group, or I looked on YouTube or whatever. And it's just like, you just don't spam them. Just, out of concern, just ask if it has to do with your market.
Hey, Pete.
Yes.
And Tony, I was asked a question last night, and hopefully the person is watching, and I could not answer it. So maybe you guys can answer this question. If you don't get along with your driver specialist, or your driver specialist is not doing what you expect them to do or whatever, who do you report it to?
Yeah, that's
true. Is it? Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah.
That's a tough one. I've always had pretty good luck with my driver specialists, with getting back to me. I mean, sometimes they take a while, but the one I have now is great.
I've had the same guy since I've been on it.
So you're lucky. I've gone through 3 different driver specialists in about a year and a half. It's weird. I don't know why.
Hey,
but
Pete, what is your GrubHub anniversary?
June 4th or something?
Yeah, I'm January of that year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you started like a few months before. But to answer that question, I mean, you're kind of in a rock and a hard place, because that's the person that every other department tells you to contact. The only thing you can do is email ghdelivery@grubhub.com and say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I work in whatever state and region. I can't reach my driver specialist. It's urgent. I don't know what to do. And then perhaps maybe, they can redirect you to another driver specialist who can maybe help out. But I do feel they're going to have to hire more driver specialists, because there's just too many drivers and the emails are piling up. That's what's happening. I know that for a fact, because I know that my driver specialist said that he covers 3,500 drivers.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot. 3,500.
3,500. Yeah.
How do you even manage that?
Well, you know what? In my GrubHub office in my area, there's 2 dudes in the office. But I don't know who does what, but there's 2 of them I know for a fact.
Jeez, 3,500?
Yeah, so it's huge, and it's multiple. What do you call it? And it's multiple markets too. It's not just one market. That's what it is. Yeah, at least here.
My driver specialist covers Florida, the whole of Florida.
Wow.
New York. Wait, what's your driver specialist's name?
No, I can't say that on here.
Okay.
I'll text it to you later.
That's a lot of that's a lot of emails they got to answer, those guys.
Well, I mean, they're not getting 3,500 emails a day, but I'm sure they're getting like
a lot,
100 or 200 emails a day. You gotta be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This is what I was told. I mean, at least this, maybe my memory is slipping, but when I did my ride along a few months ago, my driver specialist, I made a video talking about it. They told me, they said, yeah, I think it was upwards of like 3,500 drivers, so it obviously it's too many to handle is really what it is. Because think about it. Yes, in theory, 3,500 is a lot. But again, I know drivers that have never emailed their driver specialist. They don't even know who their driver specialist is or what a driver specialist is. So, most people don't even know. Like, even on my YouTube video, people are like, how do I find out who my driver specialist is? Most people don't even know. A lot of people don't even know about driver care, you know? So, you know, it is what it is. I can understand why they have such a heavy volume of drivers under their belt. Makes sense, I guess.
But the one thing I've noticed about GrubHub, it seems as though they do put a freeze on it when they feel they got enough. I've had people tell me, I try to sign up and it's not letting me. I feel like they put a hiring freeze, so they're not like Uber.
They do. Well, Uber, I think Uber recently is now putting a cap, but before it was just like you could sign up your whole family on Uber. It's like, go ahead, go out there, you know, like they didn't care at that point, you know, so I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, James. Yes, that's the one. But anyway, anything else we want to add? Because we're losing viewers. That means we're getting boring.
I had a question for the everybody in the chat here. Pete, you said you declined 6 orders in a row?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 or something like that last week.
If everybody in the chat thinks Pete was a naughty, naughty boy, give me a 111.
Ah. Some people would say that I didn't reject enough, believe it or not.
I've never rejected that many. The most I've rejected is 3. So,
well, needless to say, I wasn't making a ton of money that night, and I was like, no, you know. So it is what it is. But
Pete, your peeps are loyal. Some of them are putting 222.
I got a couple of 222s in there. All right, I'll take it. So anybody else want to add anything else before we wrap this up?
No. No. My boy, I got my youngest at my feet right now telling me, Daddy hungry. Daddy hungry.
Listen, I'm gonna hook him up with those Cheerios behind you. I've been staring at him the whole time.
Stomach's grumbling.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add, man. This topic was very interesting. Just to hear the different points, even from the subscribers, like Joe Drive for you, that perspective is still mind-boggling to me because I didn't expect it. But it's good to. I'm really digging this, guys. Just to have different perspectives.
Oh yeah. So what I was going to extend to you guys is if you guys hear any updates about this before I do or whatever, feel free, make videos about it because I want to keep the community updated, you know, because unfortunately GrubHub and Uber, they're not sending out emails telling us, updating us about these things. You know, we're the support system. You know, that's what we're here for. That's what the Driver's Den's all about. And I'm glad we're doing this, you know. So 4 episodes strong. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you guys are enjoying these Driver's Den videos, please subscribe to all of our channels. Please hit that like button, you know the deal. And I guess that's it. So
if everybody would like me to burn this hat, give me a 111.
Oh, light it up. Turn the lights on. Or are they on?
No, I don't know. Are they on?
There you go.
There we go.
You can pick up one of those hats in the DFAM store for Christmas.
The LMDU edition.
The LMDU autographed signature edition.
I will give you the hat off of my head.
And he won't wash it.
Or, I got an idea. We can FedEx this hat between the 3 of us. So we could all wear it on different Driver's Dens.
Jesus, man. Now you're pushing it, Tony.
Yeah, you're pushing it big time, bro.
I think Pete would look smashing in this hat. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So, on that note, guys, get that money, get that honey, keep hustling and keep bustling. Thanks for watching the Driver's Den. I want to say thank you to UDM and Mr. Tony from Team LMDU. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the team.
Thank you.
Any last words?
You know, my last words is just
Deuces. Tony?
Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Thanks
Smash
for watching.
that like button.
Smash that like, and everyone's links are in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe to them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Peace out. Later. Get that money.